Hello guys and welcome to Car Focused. Now I was just plodding around in my garage and I thought, why not have a little rant on YouTube, do a little rant video. Well, it's not really a rant, but it kind of is a rant. Anyway, so you all know I've got my Mark II Focus RS and my Mark 7 Ford Fiesta S1600. Now these cars were built in a period where we didn't have loads of gimmicky stuff on cars. It was kind of like the stuff you need, almost the stuff you want. Everything was functional. Nothing was unnecessary, so to speak. Now, I've always said that for me personally, in around 2018, cars kind of peaked. They peaked in terms of kind of performance, styling, creature comforts and things like that. And ever since then, it's kind of just been all a bit unnecessary, all far too regulated, and it's becoming a bit drab, dull. Obviously now we've got the big EV push. I'm not a huge EV fan. The only one EV that I would be interested in is the Hyundai Ioniq 5N. I think that does look pretty funky, pretty fun, kind of an all-round package. But yeah, even that, it's a lot of unnecessary stuff in that. Anyway, so cars like this, so you jump in them and you've literally got your steering wheel, your instrument cluster, your handbrake, your automatic or manual gear knob, and you've got a load of nice physical buttons, an infotainment system which is pretty easy to use. There's nothing too complicated about it. You can adjust the temperatures and stuff like that. It's all pretty, you know, pretty user-friendly, so to speak. And cars nowadays, modern cars, right, it's as if, so manufacturers, let's go off on a bit of a tangent here. To run a successful business, they have to, every 5 to 7 years, they have to release a new model of a car. So back in the day, I don't know, back like, let's go back to like 60s, 70s, up to 80s to today. So cars obviously started off very basic. And as technology has progressed, they've become more advanced over the years. Even things like an armrest or a center console, they weren't in cars back in the day. A glove box even, it used to be just a cubby hole. So these little things have been added to cars over time, and personally we got to a point, as I say, around 2018 where we had everything you need. Now things like sat-navs, CarPlay, adaptive cruise control, these are all very useful things, and I think they're things where it's not kind of, it's just not super unnecessary, it's not dangerous to use. Like I think CarPlay, you know, it's very intuitive, it's easy. And we still had physical buttons, so just to turn the heating up, you twirl a knob and you've got your dual climate control and all that kind of thing. It was all functional, it was all needed. But then after that, obviously the car companies, they have to keep innovating. They just have to, otherwise the business, you know, won't function. They can't just have the same car for years and years. And this is where I think we're going to run into a bit of a problem, because car manufacturers, so just take the Mark 7.5 Golf, for example, as an example, because we had a Mark 7 Golf GTI. Fantastic car. So they get to this stage where they've got this car and it's almost like perfection for the Golf. But they're like, well, we can only keep this car for 5 or so years because we're going to have to make a new model, regardless if they need to make a new, you know, regardless if anything needs changing or not, they've still got to make a new model. So they have to take a car which is pretty much perfect and they have to make changes. And this, I think, is where it's becoming an issue now. So they've got a car which does everything they need to do. There's not really anything else needed, and they have to just make unnecessary changes. So the Golf, for example, they then moved on to the Mark 8, and they started putting in these haptic touch buttons and things like that, which everybody was moaning about. But if they didn't change anything, I think people would still be moaning that there was no change in the car. And this is where it leads to more unnecessary things being added to cars. And this was the point of this video. It's just basically how cars are just becoming gimmicky, silly, all for the sake of innovation and selling new models. So I'm seeing on lorries, actually, and I've seen on a few cars, wing mirrors are now being replaced with cameras. Now, what is the point in replacing a simple piece of glass which does the job absolutely perfectly? You look in the mirror and you can see a reflection. What's the point in then having an expensive camera, which then has to process an image onto a screen inside the car. So you've got the camera, which could be faulty, you've got the screen, which could be faulty. And if that cuts out, you know, at the blink of an eye when you need it, you're stuffed. It's just an absolutely pointless thing, in my opinion, on a car. The only one benefit to it is the size. It's obviously a lot smaller and you're less likely to clip another car's wing mirror or something like that. Even rear view mirrors now, I think they're doing it with those. It's basically like replacing the windscreen with just a huge screen and having a camera so you can see outside through a screen instead of looking through the glass. Absolutely pointless. And I just wonder, why are we doing this? Well, we're doing it because companies have to keep trying to evolve, to keep selling vehicles, to keep making money, to stay in business. Where's this going to end? Where is this going to end? Obviously, we've got self-driving cars now, which are being developed. Another absolutely pointless thing. Mind you, there are some pretty bad drivers out there, so it might help some people. But we're just having these things taken away from us. Things are being made more complicated. Infotainment systems now on cars. Some cars, I had a couple of messages to say, a couple of guys, their wives' cars, they said you need like a degree just to turn the fan up inside the car. Why not just keep a knob? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in different stages, rather than having to navigate into a menu, into another sub-menu. It's just a complete distraction. And it's basically dangerous. You're driving along and you want to change the bloody temperature and you're having to navigate your way through a menu. It's just, what's the point? What is the point? And this is the rant. This is the rant. Cars are just becoming far too gimmicky. There's even a gesture control thing, isn't it? It's been around for a while now, where you turn the fan speed up and you do this. What is absolutely pointless? Just grab the knob and turn it with your hand. Job done. So yeah, the more and more this technology comes in, the more I kind of think, what's the point? And obviously it bumps the price of the cars up. The cars are already stupidly expensive as it is. I just think we need to kind of go back to basics, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because as a human race, we don't tend to go backwards. We keep going forwards, and technology eventually is going to be the death of us, I'm pretty sure. Some technology is good, but the way we're relying on technology more and more and more, like even with your phones and stuff, everybody's glued to the phones and we're just losing, I don't know. But yeah, I just felt like having a little rant about it because the more I see these things, the more I get annoyed. Maybe I'm just getting old and moody, but yeah, my Focus RS pretty much is perfect for me. I would like to have Apple CarPlay, but other than that, everything in there, it's literally jump in, drive, you do the work yourself. You've got a traction control button, but other than that, it's pretty much man and machine, and that's what I love about motoring. But do you agree with me, guys? Do you agree with me? Is there anything that really bugs you about modern vehicles and technology? And yeah, it's just quite, I don't know. We're moving into a period which just doesn't look that fun. And there's a lot of uncertainty about the future of motoring as well, whether we're going to go pay per mile and all this kind of thing in the future. And yeah, I don't know. But anyway, maybe we could do some more videos like this. Give me a topic maybe, and we'll have a little rant about it. There's a lot I can rant about. I'm nearly 40 now, and the older you get, the more you want to rant and moan about stuff. But not that I'm really negative, but you know, you do just see things as your life goes on. You think, what's the point? What is the point? But yeah, anyway, I think that's it. Just a quick video really, just to have a little rant about technology and vehicles. When's it going to end? When's it going to end? But yeah, anyway guys, that's it. Just a random one. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Share your opinions and thoughts on the way things are going. It'll be interesting to read them. Love to have a chat about it. But yeah, that's it. Anyway guys, until the next one, take care and I shall see you soon.